Hi YouTube, it is time for another TTC Tuesday. I don't really have any updates today because nothing has happened since last update, but I do have some things to talk about, so let's get started. So yes, as I said last week, I will be going back to another appointment on Monday. So for now, there's nothing new. But I thought instead that I would talk a bit about the fact that we are trying for a sibling and kind of how we're feeling about it, how we have been feeling during this process. And it feels like kind of a good time because we have actually tried now for officially 2 years, and it's kind of interesting because with Tyrion, when we tried to have our first baby, we tried for 2 years, and then pretty much exactly 2 years after we started with like treatments and stuff, I got pregnant with him. So it's kind of an interesting part of the process right now, or an interesting time in the process, because of course we have now just passed the amount of time that it took to get our first baby into my womb, I guess. And so I guess I'm getting more anxious, and how I'm feeling, it really goes up and down. Obviously I am feeling much worse when I have just had a miscarriage, and I feel much better when I'm pregnant, but for now it just kind of goes up and down and up and down, and it kind of varies with the days. And yeah, so some days I barely think about it, I have so much else to think about, I have fun, I'm happy, and other days I just kind of want to crawl into a dark space and not come out. And I do have some triggers kind of that make me feel worse, and unfortunately other people being pregnant or other people having babies is one of those triggers. And this is something that I think a lot of women, or maybe just people in general, but definitely women who struggle with infertility, are feeling. I have heard it from so many women that I've talked about or talked to online and in real life, but it's something that you don't want to talk about, and you don't want to reveal that you are jealous. It's not a fun feeling, you don't want to be jealous about anything, but definitely this is such a strong thing, having kids and wanting to get pregnant, that I think it's very rare that you don't feel that way, actually. And maybe that's a bold statement, but I do. And for me, it's mainly been YouTube moms, actually. YouTube women getting pregnant, especially ones that got pregnant around the time that I did, who now have their babies, and I don't because I had a miscarriage in January. That's very tough. And the way I deal with it, of course I am happy for them, and I try to focus on being happy for them, but seeing them with their pregnant bellies or with their newborn babies, it makes me realize that I don't have it and that I want it. So that's why I get jealous. It's not that I don't want them to have happiness, it's that I want it too. And that's really the best way I can describe it. And I do think that a lot of people feel this way. And I think we should talk about it, because it's an emotion and you can't just bottle it up. At least for me, it doesn't work that way. I have to talk about it. So now I have. Another trigger for me is definitely thinking about what I would have had now if I had not had my miscarriages. Of course, the most recent one is that my due date, I think, was July 25th. So that's a little over a month ago, and during that time I thought about it a lot. Like, I would have been in labor now, or I could have been in labor now. Of course I would not have known that it was exactly that date, but around that time I thought about it a lot, and that has kind of subsided. But still, I mean, in October, if I had not had my first miscarriage, I would be the mother of a 1-year-old in October, and I'm obviously not. So that's kind of tough too. But most days I actually feel pretty okay. And during the summer I've been able to let it go most days, I would say. And that feels very good. I also wanted to talk a bit about mine and Michael's relationship during this whole process and how it has been affected. And with Tyrion, when we started trying to get Tyrion, and all through those 2 years, it was obviously very tough. just not knowing if you're ever going to have children is very tough when you want kids. And I did things that I wish I hadn't done that kind of broke Michael's trust in me. Nothing super bad, but still stuff that I just shouldn't have done. And I definitely don't want to use the whole infertility thing as an excuse, but it was part of why things in our relationship kind of went south for a little while, because it's such a hard process to go through. And this time around, I think we're doing much better. I think we've learned from our mistakes. We've learned that we need to talk about it, and that we kind of just have to be thankful for what we already have, which is much easier when you have a kid. That's just the way it is. Trying for a sibling is very emotional too, but you have one kid, and that's obviously something to be happy about. And lastly, I just wanted to end with kind of our thoughts on how long we will be doing this, because obviously we might never get pregnant, and we're not gonna be trying forever and ever and ever. And I have kind of said that as long as I can be a good mom to Tyrion and be happy with him, and it doesn't take over my entire life and makes me depressed or anything, I want to keep on going. And I think Michael feels the same way, although he doesn't get affected by it as I do, so it's not a big issue for him, I think. But for me, definitely, if things start going that way, that I kind of just think about this and I'm always sad about it, and it affects Tyrion and our relationship and the way I can be with him, then that's the time to stop. And that's kind of all we've said about it for now, because we do want to keep trying. And yeah, we have gotten pregnant 3 times since we had Tyrion, and even though those have ended in miscarriages, we know that we can get pregnant, and that's kind of what keeps me going, at least. But I think this video is long enough now, so I am going to stop it right here. So please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of our daily vlogs, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye!